in GCP data engineering. So this is another video on Google Cloud Composer, right? So in this video we will see what is a Airflow DAG and what are the basic components of the DAG. So DAG is a basically directed acyclic graph, right? So I have already explained this basic concept of Google Cloud Composer and its creation in the Google Cloud environment in my previous video, right? So for that you can go to this video over here in my channel and you can watch this video for more details, like how we can create Google Cloud Composer and what are the different components it has, like how can we access Airflow URL web UI from the Google Cloud Composer environment, and also how we can access the DAGs folder, right? Like that we do have different options I've already explained as part of this video, and also what is its background backend like Kubernetes cluster and how to check all those details. So you can go through this video and you will get all those details. This video I will try to demonstrate a simple Airflow DAG, right, directed acyclic graph, and what are the different operators we can use as part of this DAG. But in this video we will be concentrating on these two operators, bash and python operators. These are the basic and simple operators. Okay, so before going to the demo, so we will see what are the basic components we have as part of this directed acyclic graph. The first thing first is its dependent libraries. So in the first section, in the first step, while writing the DAG code, you will have to write your DAG code in Python language, right? So for that you will have to basically import all the dependent Python libraries which can be or which are being used as part of the DAG. For example, we are going to use different operators as based on our task which we are going to perform as part of this pipeline, right? If I have to perform some Python task, I'll be importing Python operator. If I have to perform some bash or shell related or shell script related task or that or Unix related task, I have to import bash operator. So like that we have different operators like BigQuery operator, data flow operator, right? So on and so forth. So we'll try to demonstrate different operators in different videos, but in this video we will be concentrating on Python and bash operator. So this is the first step or first component, and then we have the default arguments. For example, we have some default arguments which have been initialized with some default values. We can define that or those things using this section, right? And then custom Python logic or functionality. For example, if you have some Python functionality or Python task to be performed as part of this tag, you will have to define that functionality. That means you will have to write that function, Python function over here. And then this is the main thing where you will be defining the DAG. Basically you have to give some name to the DAG, right, and other parameters which are required by the DAG. There you will be instantiating this DAG object and you will be passing necessary input arguments like DAG name, right, and default arguments like that, right? So the next thing here, you will have to define your task. You will have to define your task under this DAG, right? This is the main top level entity on the DAG hierarchy, right? Under this DAG parent entity, you will have to define your task. A task can be anything, like it can be a Python task, it can be a BigQuery task, or it can be a bash task, it can be a other task, right? You will have to define those tasks using your Airflow operators, right? So like bash operator, Python operator, so on and so forth, right? So when we are going through the this code, right, then you can map each of these basically text explanation to that code, right? And then the this is the last task which we are going to do, our last section, where once you define the task, you will have to set the dependency between the tasks. Otherwise, how would Airflow know which one to be run first and which one to be run next or something like that, right? You will have to define the dependency, right? Here you will define the dependency by using some standard notation which are being used by Airflow, right? So we will see those notations in the code, right? I hope you clearly understand this. Okay, now let us quickly go to the demo. So before going to the demo, let us go to our demo slide. So we will see what we are going to do in the demo, right? Anyway, we know. So this is our composer environment, airflow managed version. So now we have already created a DAG. So I've already created this DAG where we have this bash operator first, and then I have a Python operator. Okay, we are going to deploy this DAG in the DAGs folder, and we'll try to trigger this DAG, and we'll see what is the output. Okay, so these are the very simple tasks. Don't expect too much complexity in the this is the initial video, right, on the DAG. So it's a simple basic Unix command which would provide some simple output, right? And then this is simple Python function, right, which would just try to print something, some text, the same way even the bash operator. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. We will deploy this tag and we'll try to trigger it. Okay, now let us go to the our composer environment first. This is the environment which I've created for our demo purpose. So I don't want to go to the these details because I've already explained those details in my previous video. So this is the Airflow web UI from where you are going to monitor your DAGs, right? This is our DAGs folder where you are going to deploy your DAGs. You have to remember these two things. Okay, now let us go to the code actually. So this is our DAG code. So I've saved this tag in my Cloud Shell environment in the same project over here. This is our project. So I've saved this code over here in the Cloud Shell environment. You can see, you just try to map those texts, right? So these are the dependent libraries which we are going to use as part of this tag. You can see I've imported some Python date time related modules or classes, and also DAG. DAG is coming from Airflow. Airflow is it might be some package or class, right? And we are also using this dummy operator from this dummy class, and we are using Python operator from this family, right? So this is the section where we are going to import our dependencies. Now if you have to write some custom Python logic to derive something, because here I'm just trying to derive this value yesterday, right? It's a date time value or date value, right? So I'm using this thing in my default arguments, right? So in order to start our DAG, so we'll have to specify the start date of the DAG. That's why I need to have some value. This can be anything, but in this tag I am using this yesterday. So if you try to print this yesterday, you will get the yesterday's date. Okay, so this is next thing is default arg, right? I'm specifying start date, and also I can also basically this DAG can also trigger some alerts, right? If you have to receive those alerts on a specified email, you will have to specify that email over here, and also you can specify this retry. So here I'm just defining this number of retries as 1, and the retry delay is 5. If there is something going wrong, if DAG has to retry to execute the task through operators, then you can specify those values over here in the default arguments, right? And see, if I have some Python task, I will have to define that logic over here, right? See, I'm trying to print some simple thing, right, through to this function, right? So that's where you can see this is a Python callable. This will be used in the Python operator, right? Now this is where we are defining our DAGs. So in the DAG hierarchy, we'll have to basically instantiate this object, DAG object, just by passing the DAG ID. This will be the DAG name, right? Once you deploy your DAG into the DAGs folder, you can see that name, DAG name over here. So this is the name which it's going to display over here, right? I hope you are clear. And then so these are the other parameters. Schedule interval is some important parameter, right? So basically I'm trying to schedule this tag every 24 hours, right? This is the standard notation or the way to define the schedule interval. I'll also always remember you can also mention your schedule interval in standard cron tab format over here. So we will see those examples also when we do some different demos, right? So then I'm passing this default arguments to the DAG over here, whichever I've already defined over here, right? So now I have the task series of tasks, right, which I want this tag to execute or perform, right? So this is a dummy thing, dummy task. Actually I'm not going to perform anything, just to make sure we are starting the task and we are ending the task, right? Just to show that up, right, in our DAG. So this is a dummy operator, dummy task, and then this is our actual task, bash operator, right? This is one more object coming from this thing. So through this operator you are going to execute this bash command. You can also execute a shell script. We will see that example in upcoming videos, but here it's a simple thing. So I'm trying to print the date, current date, and also trying to print this string. Okay, hey, I'm bash operator, something like that. Okay, so this is the task name. Okay, next task, once this task gets completed, then this will be triggered. So where I'm defining that, in this section we will try to explain that section, right? So next task is Python. Through Python operator we'll have to execute the Python task. This is the task name and this is the function. The function has been already defined here. This will be printed out, right? So this is a Python callable. Okay, Python function. Next, dummy task end, and then here you will have to define the dependency of the task. This is the notation, standard notation. Start, double forward arrows, and then bash task, same thing, Python task, and same thing end, right? If you have to, in this case, this task will be executed in series. Once this is success only, then this will get triggered, right? The same way Python task, in the same way and the task. We can also execute the task in parallel. For that we'll have to use the different notation, so I don't want to explain that. So I hope you are clear and you completely understood it. And now what I'll do, I will try to deploy this code or this DAG into our DAGs folder, right? For that, what I can do, I will use my shell terminal. Okay, you know, this is whenever this environment is getting created, so you can see this GCS bucket for a DAGs with DAGs folder is all, it will be by default, it will get created. You don't have to explicitly create it. Okay, so this is already available. So what I can do, I can copy this bucket name and folder name. Okay, let me use this gsutil command and gsutil to copy some local files to gcs folder, and this is our DAG name or script. Okay, and then we'll have to provide this GCS bucket path including folder. Okay, now okay, now once you run this command, this will just copy this DAGs code at this file into this bucket path, that is DAGs folder, that is composer DAGs folder. Okay, let me authorize. Now you can see, look like it is successfully copied over here. So to verify, just come here and refresh. You can see, now you can see our DAG has been deployed to Composer environment. So now go to the Airflow environment, just refresh. Okay, and you should see our DAG showing up here. You can see our DAG is available. Now it's already in running state. Just click on it. So once you, and by default, whenever you try to deploy your DAG, and once it is successfully deployed to Composer environment, it will run automatically. Right, you can see this has been already successful run. All right, so you can go to the log. We will also try to explicitly run this. I will show you how to run this. Now you can see start task, this is a dummy task, and bash task, and then Python task, and end task. Now we'll try to see the output, right? The output should be like this. If you go to the code, in case of bash task, the output should be the date and also this text. In case of Python, it is the same thing. Hey, I'm Python operator. Okay, for that, just click on this task. You can see this log over here. So each task you will get a log over here, right? This is a log. Okay, you can see this text has been printed out. Hey, I'm bash operator. Okay, in the same way, right, go back to the graph view. So these are the different views we have. Okay, if you want grid view, just click on grid view. It will show up something like this. Okay, start something like this, and for graph view, you can click on like this. Is more user friendly, right? So next thing is Python task, and click on log. Right now you should see the same output. See, here I am Python operator, right? Now go back to the graph view of the DAG, and what I'll do, in order to trigger this DAG again, there are two ways. One way is just because all these tasks are dependent in sequence. This has to run first, and success of this task, this has to run next, right? And success of this has to run next. So either you will, one way you will click on the first task and you can click clear. Okay, if you click OK, then it will run. Now this is already successful. See that, you can see this is auto refresh over here. Now you can see second task is running. Okay, now third task is running. So that light green is running, the dark green is successfully completed. You can see the statuses and its color code over here, right? Failed red, queued, sometimes task will be queued, right? Then you can see the gray color. Running means light green. Schedule means this is a different color. Skipped, success. Up for schedule, up for retry. If there is a failure, if we have already defined the retry, then you can see this yellow color. And upstream failed means if the upper task, if this task is depending on this, right? If it is failed, then it would be in this state, upstream is failed. Okay, so I hope you are clear about the statuses and its color code. Now this is one way. You will clear the first task so that it will run, and then it will trigger the next task. The other way is you go to the DAG. Okay, you click on this, then this will run, trigger the DAG. Okay, so this will run DAG. Okay, so click on the graph view. See, it's running. Okay, so manually you can run this DAG as many times as you want, right? But we have already scheduled it in every 24 hours. So once it is run successfully, it will wait for the next run. So the next run would be tomorrow, right? The same time. So this is how you can deploy DAGs into the Composer environment, and you can monitor the DAGs in a graphical view using these two options, grid view and graph view. But this is the preferred view for me, and it's up to you what view you want. Okay, so and then these are the different statuses, right? Based on the statuses, you will take the necessary action. If some task is failed, you will have to click on that task and go to the log, and you will have to see the error for the failure. Based on that, you will take the necessary actions to re-trigger the DAG, or if so these two tasks are successfully completed, but this is failed, and then you can also trigger the, you don't have to trigger the DAG from the initial task. You can directly go to this task and just clear, right? If you click OK, then this will run the task from this task onwards. It doesn't run all the task, right? See how flexible it is. I don't want to basically make some complex use case over here. I just wanted to show you the simple DAG and its deployment and how these tasks are getting, are running, and what are the different statuses we have. Okay, I hope you are clear. So that's it for this video. So I will meet you in the next video. Thank you all.